Alright, good morning everyone. We are here with break 277, another Traders mini combo break including 10 starter packets, 1 priority box, 4 titanium hobby boxes and a bonus 21 Traders box. Our team list for today is Broncos, Peter Lowe; Raiders, Stephen Gillard; Bulldogs, Peter Lowe; Sharks, Peter Lowe; Dolphins, Josh Ellis; Titans, Sage Roach; Manly, Peter Lowe; Storm, Josh Ellis; Knights, Josh Ellis; Cowboys, Stephen Gillard; Eels, Aaron Livingston; Panthers, Peter Lowe; Rabbitohs, Dylan Jenkins; Dragons, Josh Ellis; Roosters, Brad Dukes; Warriors, Kevin Reeks; and Tigers, Josh Ellis. Alright, well, let's get stuck straight in. We have everything here ready to go. We will start with our starter packs because that's just what we do. We'll save our 21 Traders box till last and work our way down the pile. Let's go. We listed break 278 last night, guys. It's another one of these breaks. In the silver, Shante Aratu for the Titans, number 136. In the copper, number 113, Jason Taumalolo. We had such a drought with our perfect rounds in our tipping comp. In the last 2 rounds, we've had perfect rounds. It was, yeah. Number 35 in the copper, Luke Keary for the Roosters. Me, not so good. I'm shocking. In the gold, number 31, Adam Fanua-Blake for the Warriors. In the copper, number 44, Ewan Aiken for the Dolphins. In the copper, number 85, Tyson Frizzell for the Knights. In the silver, number 129, Gail Broughton for the Broncos. In the copper, 197, Georgia Roach. In the gold, number 75, Amoli Olaka'atu. And last but not least, here we go. In the copper, number 43, Adam Fanua-Blake for the Warriors. Alright, let's get stuck into these packets. Club hero Sanua Taruva for Panthers. Reese Robson parallel for the Cowboys. Sophie Holloman, Women's NRL for the Raiders. David Fafita, parallel for the Titans. A few days left to our giveaway, guys. 1 of 1. Well, the 1 of 1 replica. There is actually 5 of them. Season 2, remember, Mahalia Murphys for the Eels. Jack DeBellin, parallel for the Dragons. It's actually quite a nice card, I believe, especially with all the club logos on it too. Brendan Bakura, Rising Stars for the Broncos. Jai Arrow for the Rabbitohs. Women's NRL, Lauren Brown for the Titans. Christian Welsh, parallel for the Storm. If you haven't seen that giveaway yet, it is listed on Facebook as well as on our website. If you click on the giveaway tab at the top of the page, that will take you to all the details. And we'll also show you past giveaways, guys. Gail Broughton, World in League for the Broncos. Dream Buller, parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Jonah Pezzett for the Storm. Manly, parallel checklist. Sword and Shield, Tyson Frizzell for the Knights. Wade Egan, parallel for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Connor Mulhayson for the Dragons. Jesse Ramian, parallel for the Sharks. Women's NRL, Ella Costa for the Dragons. Knights, parallel checklist. Parallel, William Kennedy for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Ella Costa for the Dragons. Tigers, parallel checklist. Showcase a group card. We'll randomise that at the end. Jackson Ford, parallel for the Warriors. World in League, Jerome Luai for Panthers. Wade Egan, parallel for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Jacob Preston for the Bulldogs. Jesse Ramian, parallel for the Sharks. Season to remember, Valentine Holmes for the Cowboys. Knights, parallel checklist. Tony Staggs, World in League for the Broncos. Mitchell Moses, parallel for the Eels. Rising Stars, Alfiana Kampi era for the Titans. Matt Burton parallel for the Bulldogs. Sword and Shield, Addo Carr for the Bulldogs. Blake Laurie parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Dean Madison for Manly. Eels parallel checklist. Parallel Blake Brayley for the Sharks. Club Heroes, Milwaukee Fodawaka for the Titans. Lachlan Croker parallel for Manly. Rising Stars, Dream Buller for the Tigers. Isaac Tago parallel for Panthers. Women's NRL, Millie Boyle for the Roosters. Apposite Coruscant parallel for the Tigers. There we go. Sixth last packet. Sword and Shield, Ruben Garrick for Manly. Jamal Fogarty parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Jada Taylor for the Sharks. Jerome Hughes parallel for Storm. Season 2 member Xavier Coates for Storm. Roosters parallel checklist. Season 2 member Ben Jabojevic for Manly. Mitchell Moses parallel for Eels. Alright, second last pack out of the starter packets. Rising Stars, Ruby Ellis for the Eels. Matt Burton parallel for the Bulldogs. Will it be lucky last? Here we go. No, complete opposite. Jack DeBellin parallel for the Dragons. Well, that was anticlimactic. Alright, let's go straight into the hobby boxes. We'll do the priority box followed by the 21 Traders box last. Rising Stars, Ebony Pryor for the Tigers. Brian To'o parallel for Panthers. Season 2 member Mikhail Ravalawa for the Dragons. Brendan Smith parallel for the Roosters. Showcase Nat Butcher for the Roosters. Raiders parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Toby Couchman for the Dragons. Luke Keary, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Mason Teague for the Dolphins. Nelson Asafa Solomona, parallel for Storm. Women's NRL, Tyler Wong for the Dragons. Tyrell Sloan, parallel for the Dragons. Abigail Roach, Women's Welding League for the Knights. Junior Paulo, parallel for the Eels. Rising Stars, Jesse Colquhoun for the Sharks. Balama Kickout, parallel for the Bulldogs. Season Remember, Ben Drabovic for Manly. Kieran Foran, parallel for the Titans. Gold parallel, Sifa Talakai for the Sharks, number 39. Cowboys parallel checklist. Club Heroes, Isaiah Katoa for Dolphins. Jordan Rapana, parallel for Raiders. Rising Stars, Brendan Hands for the Eels. Campbell Graham, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Club Heroes, Kalen Ponga for the Knights. Payne Huss, parallel for the Broncos. Sword and Shield, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Isaiah Katoa, parallel for Dolphins. Rising Stars, Ali for the Warriors. Raymond Best, parallel for Knights. Season Remember, Xavier Coates for the Storm. Sean Johnson, parallel for Warriors. Women's NRL, Emma Manzelman for Cowboys. Ronaldo Mulitalo, parallel for Sharks. Rising Stars, Ethan Strange for the Raiders. Adam Dewey, parallel for Tigers. Welding League, Braden Hamlin Yuli for the Sharks. Amoli Olika R2, parallel for Manly. Sword and Shield team for the Rabbitohs. Bryce Cartwright, parallel for Eels. Welding League, Hamoli Olika R2 for Manly. Reed Marnie, parallel for the Bulldogs. Yes, please. Season to remember, Valentine Holmes for the Cowboys. Will Warbrick parallel for Storm. Rising Stars, Shante Aratu for the Titans. Alexander Brimson parallel for the Titans. Season to remember, Jamal Fogarty for the Raiders. Jason Tom Lilo parallel for Cowboys. Sword and Shield, Jermaine Hopgood for the Eels. Latrell Mitchell parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Jada Ferguson for the Broncos. Tony Staggs parallel for the Broncos. Women's NRL, Destiny Brill for Broncos. Jesse Bromwich parallel for Dolphins. Showcase, Sean Lane for the Eels. Phoenix Crosslane parallel for Knights. Rising Stars, Jack Howarth to Storm. Warriors parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Thomas Cant for Knights. Ben Hunt parallel for Dragons. Welding League, Elsie Albert for the Eels. Brighton Nakora parallel for Sharks. Season to remember, Apsai Coruscant for Tigers. John Bateman parallel for Tigers. Zach Labert, Rising Stars for the Cowboys. Daly Cherry Evans parallel for Manly. 3 packets left for box number 1. Gold parallel for the women's, Julia Robinson, number 180. Panthers parallel checklist. Welding League parallel, Abigail Roach for the Knights. Liam Martin parallel for the Panthers. White Authentic. Number 18 for the Cowboys is Jeremiah Nanai. Daniel Tupou parallel for the Roosters. And that's box 1 done and dusted. And yes, we are still opening for the website, guys. So if you're still chasing anything, make sure it's in your wish list, so you can get notified as soon as we update stock. Retirement, Brad Takarangi for the Eels. Cheers. Rising Stars, Jacob Preston for the Bulldogs. And Corey Horsburgh parallel for the Raiders. Women's NRL, Isabel Kelly for the Roosters. Bryce Cartwright parallel for Eels. World in League, Brendan Kura for the Broncos. Reid Marnie parallel for Bulldogs. Rising Stars for the Cowboys. Alexander Brimson parallel for the Titans. Season to remember, Jamal Fogarty for the Raiders. Jason Tom Lolo parallel for the Cowboys. Gold parallel, Isaiah Yeo for the Panthers, number 5. Latrell Mitchell parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Dean Madison for Manly. Tony Staggs parallel for the Broncos. Club Heroes, Tane for the Warriors. Jesse Bromwich parallel for Dolphins. Sword and Shield, Clint Gufferson for the Eels. Phoenix Crossland parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Terrell May for the Roosters. Warriors parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Jonah Pezzett for Storm. Ben Hunt parallel for Dragons. Season to remember, Apasai Coruscant for the Tigers. Bright Nakora parallel for the Sharks. Women's NRL, Jamie Chapman for the Titans. John Bateman parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Benjamin Lovett for the Rabbitohs. Daly Cherry Evans parallel for Manly. World in League, Tyler Wong for the Dragons. Liam Martin parallel for Panthers. Hey buddy, how are we? Taryn Aiken, gold parallel for Roosters, number 186. Daniel Tupou, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Blake Moser for the Broncos. Luke Keary, parallel for Roosters. Valentine Holmes, season to remember for the Cowboys. Jordan Rapana, parallel for the Raiders. And even more important, who they got the win over. Nat Butcher, showcase for the Roosters. Will Warbrick, parallel for the Storm. Club Heroes, Jareem Bula for the Tigers. Harry Grant, parallel for the Storm. Season to remember, Emma Tony Gatto for the Sharks. Zach Lomax, parallel for the Dragons. Yeah, right. Rising Stars, Dream Bula for the Tigers. Jermaine Hopgood, parallel for the Eels. Yeah, well, Panthers have been praised for their depth due to their investment into the juniors. Obviously, it's starting to dry up for team Sword and Shield for Panthers. Toby Sexton, parallel for the Bulldogs. World in League, Justin Olam for Storm. Big Tino, parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars, Jada Taylor for the Sharks. Scott Drinkwater, parallel for Cowboys. Jackson Paulo, season to remember for the Roosters. Rabbitohs parallel checklist. It's good. The Warriors haven't looked too bad, to be honest. Yeah. Rising Stars, Trey Mooney for the Raiders. Nathan Cleary, parallel for Panthers. Sword and Shield, Jake Trbojevic for Manly. Patrick Carrigan, parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Ruby Ellis for the Eels. Hammerfido, parallel for the Dolphins. Women's NRL, Madison Bartlett for the Raiders. Yeah, Peter Lowe, one of our regular breakies, is a local to you, buddy. Jackson Hastings, parallel for the Knights. All our postage on the website is set up for New Zealand. Once you enter your address in, it will fix it all up for you. Sanua Taruva, World in League for the Panthers. Unfortunately, World in League parallel. Unfortunately, we're not doing any pick your team breaks at the moment. But if you're in the Facebook group, when we do the team randomizer, you are welcome to trade teams between each other. Joey Manu, parallel for the Roosters. I've actually been quite surprised. They've had no trade yet. That's unusual. Running Machines, Francesca Goldtop for the Cowboys, number 15. Just a reminder, guys, I do say it in most of my videos, but if you are trying to comment and that, you do need to be signed into YouTube and subscribe. It's to stop the spam in the comments that you get in general. Joseph Tarpanay, parallel for the Raiders. Ah, okay. I don't know if they're aware of that. But you know, we have them, we get them. Obviously, it's a couple of weeks after they're listed on the TLA website. But once we receive them, we list them on ours. Sean Lane, showcase for the Eels. Adam Fanua-Blake, parallel for the Warriors. It would literally just be the way it's set up in their shipping settings. From experience, I know setting up shipping and all that, it can be quite confusing. So, yeah. Rising Stars, Ronald Volkman for the Warriors. Sharks parallel checklist. It just varies so much. World in League, Joseph Tarpanay for the Raiders. David Clemmer, parallel for Tigers. And last one for our second box. Season to remember, Jaden Ockenbaugh for the Bulldogs. Ruben Garrick, parallel for Manly. Box number 3. And before we get into that, I am going to have a little bit of coffee. To be honest, I know it probably doesn't feel that way, but titanium only and no starter packs. Not, yeah, I'd be okay with that. Depending on what extent you want them to go with the starter packs, I guess. But if you're only collecting your team, I would probably buy them cards individually. And titanium, look, if I buy individual packets, I want to know that I can hit a black sig and things like that. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Rising Stars, Toby Couchman for the Dragons. Reece Welsh, parallel for the Broncos. One box, if you buy one full box, that will give you a full base. Obviously not your parallels. You only get one parallel per packet. We have the other option. I don't know how far into it you are. We have the album and base set. Rising Stars, Mason Teague for the Dolphins. Jacob Saifiti, parallel for the Knights. Season to remember, Ryan Pappenhausen for the Storm. Dallin Watine-Zelezniak, parallel for the Warriors. We guaranteed a gold or 2 gold parallels, a women's and a men's. A team, sword and shield. There's certain things that you guaranteed in a full box. Plus, then you've got the box hit out of the case, so you got the possibility of a black authentic, a white authentic. I think it's 2 initials in a case. You got the running machines, the retirements, things like that. So. And then you can trade them if you happen to get a different team. You can always trade them. Group card showcase. I know some people have awesome luck buying singles, but me, yeah, Cesar Vitalikai for the Sharks. I don't gamble because I got shock and luck. Yeah, I try and limit how much luck's involved. Sophie Holloman, women's NRL for the Raiders. Alex Johnston, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Jesse Colquhoun for the Sharks. Sean Bloor, parallel for the Tigers. Emily Bass, women's NRL for the Titans. Tommy Turbo, parallel for Manly. World in League, Mikhail Ravalawa for the Dragons. James Fisher-Harris, parallel for Panthers. Rising Stars, Brendan Hands for the Eels. Lindsay Collins, parallel for the Roosters. Season to remember, Kira Adib for the Cowboys. Hudson Young, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Ali for the Warriors. Mikhail Ravalawa, parallel for Dragons. Gold parallel, Luke Keary for the Roosters, number 11. Storm parallel checklist. Eels. World in League, Jerome Hughes for Storm and Dolphins parallel checklist. Tara West, gold parallel for the Dragons, number 135. Dane Gagai, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Thomas Kent for the Knights. Tohu Harris, parallel for the Warriors. Club Heroes, Tegan Berry for the Dragons. Cameron McInnes, parallel for Sharks. Season to remember, Patil Vet Welsh for the Tigers. Stefano Utakamanu, parallel for Tigers. Yeah, everything's chopping and changing at the moment. Rising Star, Shante Aratu for the Titans. Ben Trbojevic, parallel for Manly. I feel like there's been quite a few upsets over the last few rounds, so things like that keep happening. There's no guarantees at all. Season to remember, Hudson Young for the Raiders. Jeremiah Nanai, parallel for the Cowboys. I say that the last couple of rounds we've got perfect rounds, so either I'm wrong or people are picking the right upsets. Sword and Shield team for Manly. Sorry, that one was stuck. Jerome Luai, parallel for Panthers. World in League, Shael Aretti for the Raiders. Jared Hargraves, parallel for Roosters. Rising Stars, Jada Ferguson for the Broncos. Sebastian Chris, parallel for the Raiders. Yeah, well, SJ's definitely been... Sorry, I started reading the second message as I started talking. SJ's definitely been a big name for him. Club heroes for the Cowboys. Regan Campbell-Gillard, parallel for the Eels. But it's good to see that they've got the depth at the moment. That, yeah, they're not relying on a player or... Nico Hines, season to remember for the Sharks. Xavier Coates, parallel for Storm. It's a bit like Adam Reynolds at the Broncos at the moment. Like, as soon as he's out, you sort of start to question. Sword and Shield, Big Tino for the Titans. Jack Bird, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Jack Health for Storm. Micah Sivo, parallel for Eels. Women's NRL, Ella Costa for the Dragons. Max King, parallel for Bulldogs. Yeah, we've 8 of your starting lineup out. It'll be interesting to see how they go this week. Showcase Felice Kafusi for the Dolphins. Oh, there we go. I didn't realise. Bye this week. Titans parallel checklist. Oh well, that'll be a little bit of a good buffer for you. Rising Stars, Zach Labour for the Cowboys. Murray Talagi, parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Ethan Strange for the Raiders. Jaden Campbell, parallel for the Titans. Yeah, right, okay. Next week, sorry. My bad. Lachlan Ilias, World in League for the Rabbitohs. Cody Walker, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Yeah, I'm actually curious to see how the Dolphins go with what's going on with Bennett. Yeah, nice. Season to remember, Luke Keary for the Roosters. Selwyn Cobbo, parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Sandon Smith for the Roosters. Valance to wear, parallel for Dolphins. World in League, parallel, Braden Hemlin Ewley for the Sharks. Greg Marzu, parallel for Knights. Retirements, Andrew McCulloch for the Dragons. Tamir Martin, parallel for the Warriors. Sword and Shield, Reece Welsh for the Broncos. Addo Carr, parallel for Bulldogs. Alright, we're up to box number 4, our last hobby box. Bit of hate on RTS, eh? Rising Stars, Will Warbrick for the Storm. Mikhail Ravalawa, parallel for Dragons. Season to remember, Jesse Southwell for the Knights. Regan Campbell Gillard, parallel. Showcase Reed Marnie for the Bulldogs. Addo Carr, parallel for Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Robert Derby for the Cowboys. Jaden Campbell, parallel for the Titans. Women's NRL, Quincy Dodd for the Sharks. Nah. Not anymore. Jeremiah Nanai, parallel for the Cowboys. Sword and Shield, Jermaine Isako for the Dolphins. Tamir Martin, parallel for the Warriors. World in League, April for the Cowboys. Alex Johnston, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Raymond Vega for Manly. Reece Welsh, parallel for Broncos. I was actually talking to another customer this morning in message, and he just purchased some old cards that he used to collect from when he was around 9, and we were just talking. That's what I was saying, going through them older cards when I'm picking them for orders or sorting them when we get old collections in that have to be put away. It takes me back to sitting at the dining table with my grandfather, opening cards, sorting cards, all that sort of stuff. So I enjoy that a lot more than having a collection sitting there anyway. Season to remember, Meli Hafunga for the Broncos. Dolphins, parallel checklist. Titans gold parallel checklist number 64. Dane Gagai parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Atessa Poole for the Roosters. Tohu Harris parallel for the Warriors. Club Heroes, Clint Gufferson for the Eels. Cameron McInnes, parallel for Sharks. Sword and Shield, Mikhail Ravalawa for the Dragons. Stefano Kamanu, parallel for Tigers. Rising Stars, Tyrone Munro for the Rabbitohs. Ben Javovic, parallel for Manly. Rising Stars, Arthur Stephen for the Eels. Valance to wear, parallel for Dolphins. Season to remember, Lachlan Ilias for the Rabbitohs. Honestly, mate, I just listed a new one last night. The one that we're doing now sold out in about a week. So I'd say roughly a week, but we don't have any others listed, so it might sell a bit quicker. We don't know, mate. Jerome Luai, parallel for Panthers. Just depends on how well it sells. I definitely recommend, if you're not in the Facebook group, get amongst it. Millie Boyle, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Keep you all up to date in there. Jared Rera Hargraves, parallel for the Roosters. Another retirement, Lachlan Coop for the Cowboys. Junior Tupou, Rising Stars for the Tigers. Sebastian Chris, parallel for the Raiders. World in League, Adam Fanua Blake for the Warriors. Xavier Coates, parallel for Storm. Gold parallel, Simon Torfa for the Raiders. Number 7. 007. Jack Bird, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars for Lance to wear for Dolphins. Micah Sivo, parallel for the Eels. Club Heroes, Sean Johnson for the Warriors. Max King, parallel for the Bulldogs. Season to remember, Felice Kafusi for Dolphins. Titans, parallel checklist. Andy Robertson, Rising Stars for the Sharks. Murray Talagi, parallel for the Cowboys. Sword and Shield team for the Roosters. Cody Walker, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Don't forget, guys, you can always add an album and base set with your break spot. Just tick the box on the product when you're checking out. Dylan Edwards, season to remember for Panthers. Greg Martu, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Peter Holler for the Raiders. Blake Brayley, parallel for the Sharks. Lauren Brown, Women's NRL for the Titans. Dream Buller, parallel for the Tigers. Jaden Campbell, showcase for the Titans. Manly, parallel checklist. Yeah, well, in general, I think they're alright. There's nothing that really jumps out at me that I think they failed on. Rising Stars, Alexis for the Dragons. Isaiah Yo, parallel for Panthers. I actually have an odd favourite card. It's not my team. It's just the way the design came out, and it's the Jerome Hughes Gold World in League parallel. I'm not even a Lakers fan, but it really reminds me of the Lakers sort of theme, and the gold and the purple just really pop off, I think. Jaden Stewart, World in League for the Dragons. Victor Radley, parallel for the Roosters. Season to remember, Tegan Berry for the Dragons. Big Papa, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Kayla Romniak for the Knights. Christian Welsh, parallel for the Storm. I missed the STRs with picture on the back. Brendan Wakeham, World in League, parallel for the Tigers. Blake Laurie, parallel for the Dragons. Running Machines, Isaiah Tass for the Rabbitohs, number 83. It's funny you say that because some people would say that there's too many women's cards. Eels Parallel Checklist. And I guess that's where TLA has to find the happy medium. Some people call for them to have their own series. But yeah, I don't have a problem with them being in the main sets. I think they're starting to get there with the combination, like the ratio. Gail Broughton, World in League for Broncos. Selwyn Cobbo, parallel for the Broncos. And that is our 4 hobby boxes done and dusted, guys. I'll get these tidied up and we'll get stuck into the priority box. Leaving just the 21 Traders box till the end. You gotta understand, there used to be a lot of collectors that would put at least majority of the series together as a full set, but it's becoming more common for people just to do team sets. Yes, the inserts need to be in groups of 3, 6 or 9. Splitting them up otherwise just doesn't work. Well, that's actually what I was saying earlier. Oh, the priority boxes and the hobby, is that what you meant? I thought you were talking about retail and hobby then at first. Before I go on a rant, explain to me which one. Rising Stars, Eliza Salata for the Tigers. Patrick Carrigan, parallel for the Broncos. Jamie Chapman, season to remember for the Titans. So in priority, you've got 3 priority variations, which are your club heroes, your World in League, and your team Sword and Shield. So obviously 2 club heroes as well. So there's 4 priority hits in there, and they have a film over the top which makes them stand out, and they're numbered where the ones in the hobby boxes aren't numbered. Hammer Fido, parallel for the Dolphins. Showcase Renato Mulatalo for the Sharks. Jackson Hastings, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Isaiah Katoa for Dolphins. Yeah, a numbered variation of the box hits that are also in hobby. Adam Fanua Blake, parallel for the Warriors. Racine McGregor, women's NRL for the Dragons. Sharks parallel checklist. You'll see what I'm talking about shortly. World in League, Sanua Taruva for Panthers. David Clemmer, parallel for the Tigers. And once again, once you know what you're looking for, you can go and check out the website. It's all listed on there. Rising Stars, Anessa Biddle for the Sharks. We also have the checklists available for download. Ruben Garrick, parallel for Manly. Season to remember, Mitchell Moses for the Eels. Nathan Cleary, parallel for Panthers. Adam Fanua-Blake, gold, parallel for the Warriors. No, it's just a standard. Number 67. Yeah, that's just a standard. The parallel Welding League Panthers are grey. Joey Manu, parallel for the Roosters. Don't worry, at the beginning of the series it was very confusing. A lot of people weren't even realising that there was another. They were completely missing it. It was just going in the one pile. So, had a few people in the break comments as we were doing the first few. Oh, I've got to go back through. Rising Stars, Cassie Hiku for the Eels. Joseph Tarpanay, parallel for the Raiders. They weren't alone, that's all I'm going to say. Alright, here we go. The first of our priorities, number 20, Campbell Graham in the Club Heroes. Nick Meaney, parallel for the Storm. Sword and Shield, Valentine Holmes for the Cowboys. Dragons, parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Mona Lisa Soliola for the Raiders. Ryan Madison, parallel for the Eels. Yes, we know. Season to remember, Luke Metcalf for the Warriors. We create our products on the website before we get the cards and have all the pictures. We get our spreadsheets ready to load into the website and that. But we use the checklist to do that. So when you go through and find those mistakes, yep, we know. Jacob Garaz, parallel for the Bulldogs. Kira Dibb, Women's NRL for the Cowboys. Mawaki Fotuaika, parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars, Connor Mulhayson for the Dragons. Chad Townsend, parallel for the Cowboys. Off the top of my head, I can't remember if it was parallels or the starter packs, but there was supposed to be all 54 of them, but there's not. So we created all those extra ones on the website originally and had to clean them up. Elliot Whitehead, World in League for the Raiders. Damien Cook, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Gold parallel, Emily Curtin for the Tigers, number 201. Broncos parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Dylan Lucas for the Knights. Jermaine Isako, parallel for the Dolphins. Our second priority club hero, Toby Couchman for the Dragons, number 25. Jacob Saifiti, parallel for the Knights. Now, I'm not saying the website's perfect, guys, but now that we're quite a bit into the series and there's only a couple of pictures missing, I'm pretty confident that you can use the website and be confident in what you see there now. Season 2 member, Jesse Southwell for the Knights. Darren Watine Zalesniak, parallel for the Warriors. Any mistakes we tend to fix up as we go along. Obviously we're not perfect, so we may have missed a couple. If you find anything, please let us know so we can get it fixed up. Number 4, our World in League Priority Parallel, Vitalina Nakor for the Cowboys. For the Gold Stars. Reece Welsh, parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Lindsay Smith for Panthers. Sifa Talakai, parallel for the Sharks. And our Sword and Shield team priority, number 18 for the Warriors. Sean Blaw, parallel for the Tigers. World in League, Abigail Roach for the Knights. Tommy Turbo, parallel for Manly. Rising Stars, Alafiana Khan Kiera for Titans. James Fisher Harris, parallel for Panthers. Season 2 remember, Melly Hafunga for the Broncos. Lindsay Collins, parallel for the Roosters. Gordon Tong, Rising Stars for Manly. Alex Johnston, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Sword and Shield, Isaiah Yeo for Panthers. Excuse me. Hudson Young, parallel for the Raiders. 6th or 7th last packet for our priority box. Rising Stars, Brendan Pakura for the Broncos. Storm, parallel checklist. Women's NRL, Hallie Maddock for the Broncos. Mikhail Ravalawa, parallel for the Dragons. Showcase Dylan Edwards for the Panthers. Regan Campbell-Gillard, parallel for the Eels. Rising Stars, Tiana Smith for the Cowboys. Haddo Carr, parallel for the Bulldogs. World in League, Braden Hamlin Yulee for the Sharks. Jaden Campbell parallel for the Titans. Season to remember, Lachlan Elias for the Rabbitohs. Jeremiah Nanai parallel for Cowboys. And last packet, Running Machines, James Tedesco for the Roosters, number 102. And Dolphins parallel checklist. Alright, well that's the end of the 24 traders. And we still have the bonus 21 traders hobby box. Let's go. Parallel Daniel Saifiti for the Knights. For anyone interested, we've got some awesome deals on sealed 21 traders at the moment. Wild card Ryan Pappenhausen for Storm. Storm parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Brendan Wakeham for the Bulldogs. Milwaukee Fodawaker, parallel for Titans. Season to remember, Gavin Cooper for the Cowboys. Reed Marnie, parallel for the Eels. Rising Stars, Freddie Lussick for the Roosters. Regan Campbell-Gillard, parallel for the Eels. Yeah. Yeah. Number 126, Laurie Daly. Legend signature. So that is randomized between all 17 spots, guys. Nice. William Martin, parallel for the Panthers. That's what you want to see out of a bonus box. Season to remember, Martin Tapau for Manly. Tommy Talau, parallel for the Tigers. See, and that's why I don't need my own collection. I get excited from other cards, opening for other people. Rising Stars, Cade Ellis for the Dragons. How in there? Bots, please explain. Adam Elliott, parallel for the Bulldogs. Scott Drinkwater, parallel for the Cowboys. Oh, we got another group card. This one is only randomized between the teams on the card, guys. Wade Graham. Shock at the Legends. So Was not expecting it. Wade Graham parallel for the Sharks. To be honest, opening the starter packs, because I still have not hit a Legends in the starter packs, I'm expecting one. I'm waiting for one to come. But yeah, that one completely caught me off guard, to be honest. And for anyone that's been watching since the beginning, yes, I would have claimed that as 2 Legends in one break if I would have got one earlier. Club Heroes. Couldn't remember if they were numbered. Payne Haas for the Broncos. Corey Oates, parallel for the Broncos. Club Heroes were numbered in the priorities, that's right. Rising Stars, Charlie Staines for Panthers. Josh Hodgson, parallel for Raiders. Wildcard, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Tavita Funa, parallel for Manly. Rising Stars, Cade Cast for Manly. Knight, parallel checklist. Season to remember, young Tony Maipe for the Titans. Ken Mamalo, parallel for the Warriors. Josh Morris, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Herbie Farnworth for the Broncos. Rabbitohs, parallel checklist. Wildcard, Adam Reynolds for the Rabbitohs. Zach Lomax, parallel for Dragons. White Streeter, Josh Mansell for Panthers. Cameron Munster, parallel for Storm. Rising Stars, Connor Tracy for the Sharks. Apposite Coruscant, parallel for Panthers. Rising Stars, Semi Valemi for the Raiders. Dan Gagai, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Joseph Leilua, parallel for the Tigers. Team Wildcard for the Warriors. Will Hopper-Wade, parallel for the Bulldogs. Tarek Sims, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Tommy Talau for the Tigers. Thomas Flegler, parallel for the Broncos. White Streeter, Josh Jackson for the Bulldogs. Jack Whiten parallel for the Raiders. Season to remember, Kalen Ponga for the Knights. Tohu Harris parallel for Warriors. Season to remember, Micah Sivo for the Eels. Sean Johnson parallel for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Cooper Johns for Storm. Roosters parallel checklist. Jaden Sewer parallel for the Rabbitohs. Wildcard, Aaron Woods for the Sharks. Cameron McInnes parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Hayes Perham for the Warriors. Sione Katoa parallel for the Sharks. Black Streeter, Jared Croker for the Raiders. Tanner Boyd parallel for the Titans. 3 packets left for the break. So far we have 4 randomizations to do. Angus Crichton, Star Tunes for the Roosters. Luke Keary parallel for the Roosters. So we have our Star Tunes Group B to be randomised between the teams featured. We have our 224 Traders Showcase Group cards and the Laurie Daly Legends. Cameron Smith, season to remember for the Storm.
Did we get a Daly in 21?
Yeah.
Oh, I think 12.
Jason Tom. Oh, I went and got that one. Thank you. I'll take the credit. So even Dad agrees he was a bit shocked. Rising Stars, Phoenix Crossland for the Knights. Tommy Turbo, parallel for Manly. All right. That's the end of that, guys. Oh, better not knock that off. So yeah, let's start with our let's start with these because these come out first. So we'll do them individually, both between all 17 teams. We'll do this one between the 8 teams featured, which is Cowboys, Eels, Panthers, Rabbitohs, Dragons, Roosters, Warriors, and Tigers, followed by the Daly, which is randomised between all spots. So let's get started. We'll change screens. Everyone is loaded in and ready to go. Remember, it's 3 Titans for each one. Number 1, number 2, and lucky last, number 3. Aaron Livingston with the Eels for our first group header card. Let's refresh and go again. All right, number 1, number 2, and lucky last, number 3. Josh Ellis with the Tigers for that second one. All right, let's refresh again. This time, Cowboys through to Tigers. number 1, number 2, and lucky last number 3. Kevin Reeks with the Warriors. Alright, lucky last, most importantly, Laurie Daly signature between all 17. Let's get that refreshed one last time. Alright, everyone is in and ready. Good luck, number 1, number 2, and lucky last, number 3. Peter Lowe with Manly, congratulations. Well, thank you to everyone for being a part of it. Thank you to those that joined me in the chat on the live video. I always enjoy the company. And as you can see, I love opening the cards. So come and join us next time, grab a spot and be a part of it.